Much like Crash Bandicoot, the Spyro series entertained many 90s kids back in the day, and here we are 20 plus years later and I'm still talking about it. I'm Sexy Jesus, this is why I love Spyro the Dragon. To get started, I'm gonna just lump the original 3 into one video, because I kind of have the same love for each one of them. So I feel like it's more appropriate to just talk about all of them. Starting with the first game, the dragons get captured by Gnasty Gnorc, and it's up to Spyro to go and free them and save the Dragon Kingdom from the evil Gnorcs. I have so much nostalgia for the Artisan's homeworld. I remember stepping on all 5 of the stones in the lake and opening up Sunny Flight just by mistake, even though you're not told about that like halfway through the game. I remember running around Stone Hill and dealing with the yaks and the shepherds and the dogs. Let's not forget Dark Hollow. The Dark Hollow theme is a bop. It's freaking great. Running around collecting all the gems, trying to hit the egg thieves. That was a very annoying experience as a kid. I could never catch them. I remember playing Town Square on a demo disc. I'm not sure if that was before I got the game or after I got the game. Like, there's so many iconic things in this game. The one thing I will say though is that compared to the other 2, this one is relatively simple. You just go into a level, get all the gems, leave. In fact, you don't even have to do that. You could just go straight to the exit for the most part, if you're not trying to 100% the game. The only thing that's important is the dragons. And we all know the famous line, "Thank you for releasing me."
Thank you for releasing me.
Thank you for releasing me.
The boss fights in this one are also extremely simple. In fact, they hardly count as bosses. They're like 3-hit enemies. You hit them once, they run away, you hit them again. You just do that, and it's pretty simple. I have grown an appreciation for the movement in this game from watching Daoman speedrun it. First game, Spyro's a lot more heavier on the ground. His glide sucks, but I feel like you have a bit more control with him on the ground, where 2 and 3 he feels a lot lighter and a little bit more floaty, but he can fly better. Does have some really good platforming sections, and some pretty difficult ones if you're not experienced with the game. I'm sure we all got stuck on treetops and got many game overs on that level. 2 is when the series really opens up, when you actually get more characters for one. Like, the dragons, when you free them, they'll obviously talk to you for a second, but for the most part, the first game, it feels very lonely. Where in the second one, you get Elora, Hunter, the Professor, along with Crunch, Gulp, and Ripto, the main enemies of the game. You get several cutscenes, which hardly existed in the first game. Plus, with all the extra characters in the levels giving you missions and whatnot, the game feels a lot more alive. Speaking of the missions, I'm sure we all got stuck on the Alchemist mission. Don't pretend you did it. You did. That mission sucks. I always found it funny that, say it's mostly up to you and Hunter to get the orbs and whatnot, but yet you'll do missions for Hunter to get the orbs. So if we're working together, why am I doing a mission for you to give me the orb when you already have the orb? It makes no sense, but we'll just go with it. Which is one thing you will notice in this one is a set of dragons, you're collecting orbs, which can be found throughout the levels or given to you from completing missions. You also get like a bunch of different power-ups that you get by charging the power-up gates by sending the souls of your enemies. Yes, once you slay an enemy, you use its soul to your benefits. The enemies really don't drop gems on this one for whatever reason. All the gems are just in the level. Also with this one, there's no like main enemy you're dealing with throughout the levels. Like the first game, you're dealing with Gnorcs. The third game, you're dealing with the Rhinox. This one, you're just fighting whatever is inhabiting the level, which makes sense as this one takes place in Avalar, where 1 and 3 take place in the Dragon Realm. Stuart Copeland was popping off when he made the Spyro music. I really like how each game has sort of its own vibe. Like, you could still tell it's Spyro, but you could also tell which game it's from. This one has a lot of chill music, like Winter Tundra, for example, is great. It's so relaxing. Autumn Plains is my favorite home world. It's so satisfying to climb up to the very top of the palace and fly to the little platform with the orb on it. All the levels have a lot of charm to them. Like when you enter, it shows like a little story. When you leave, it shows sort of the aftermath. It does give it a little bit more character opposed to the first one. And also we have actual boss fights. Gulp being the main boss of the game. Don't sit here and try to tell me it's Ripto. Ripto is easy pickings compared to Gulp. It's also a bit more satisfying to go 100% this one because of the unlimited super flame you get. To where in the first game you literally just got a little extra secret ending, which wasn't all that great. But also in this one, since you already have everything, what's the point in a power-up? But yeah, 2 is fantastic. I'd say that's the most iconic game out of the Spyro series. Then we get the 3rd game where you have to go into the forgotten lands of the Dragon Realm and rescue all the dragon eggs that were stolen by Rhinox. This one's quite an adventure. I would say it has the most content, but I'd say it's probably the weakest out of the 3. Mostly because they focus on doing like a lot of new things, like a lot of new playable characters and whatnot, but I feel like they're not nearly as fun as just playing as Spyro. Plus the Sorceress sucks. There's literally hardly any real interaction with her. You just see a cutscene of her in her palace. Doesn't even interact with Spyro at all. And then when you do finally fight her, there's no cutscene. You just fight her and that's it. We get Bianca, who's the love interest of Hunter, so there's sort of a story arc going on with that. Elora's not in the game until like the very end. I guess they didn't know what to do with 2 female characters. When it comes to the playable characters, you get Sheila the kangaroo, who focuses on high jumps, because she's a kangaroo. You have Sergeant Byrd, who's a penguin with a jetpack. His levels are mostly focused on flying around, shooting his missiles at enemies. We have Bentley the Yeti, who's big and hits things. And let's not talk about the boxing minigame. We've all played it. But once was enough. You have Agent 9 the monkey, who focuses on range attacks. A lot of his levels are on-rail shooters, which can be kind of difficult. Like, I like the variety in 3, but like I said, none of them really feel like fully fleshed out. They feel more like just little mini games for the most part, and like, I enjoy them, but I'd much rather just play Spyro. The level design and the music in this one is also just spot on. It's great. We all know how amazing Fireworks Factory is. And who could forget the most satisfying moment in gaming history where you beat Moneybags down and get all your gems back from the past couple games. So yeah, the way it goes, like, 1 is very much sets the foundation and it has sort of its own charm and also plays a little bit different. 2 set the standard. It's great. It's like the definitive Spyro game. And 3 tries a lot of new things, but I don't think they really got it. I feel like they should have just, I don't know, just came up with some new power-ups or you came up with new level designs opposed to just trying to throw a bunch of like new playable characters. They went a little overboard with it. Though that being said, 3 is still great. All the levels really have sort of this mystical vibe in this one. The secondary character levels play a little bit better in the Reignited Trilogy, if I remember correctly. So try that out if you don't like them in the original version. But yeah, since I did Crash, I had to do Spyro. Spyro's been with me since, well, also day 1. It's some of my earliest memories is Crash and Spyro. So you can't really have one without the other. I wish I had more memories with other Spyro games, but I haven't played like the Hero's Tale and all those. And we won't talk about a certain one that should never be spoken about again. Which is kind of sad when you think about it, like, there's only really, like, 3 good Spyro games. The rest are sort of like, okay, or just bad. So here's hoping that we get a 4 at some point. I would really like Spyro 4. Crash 4 was great, so let's give the Purple Dragons love. I have so many good memories just playing these games. So some rage quits. I was pretty bad as a kid. Hopefully I said enough about the games. I just wanted to throw them all together, but I also didn't want to feel like I just rushed through the video. I could get detailed into each level, but I'd be here all night if I did that. If you want to see that, I did a Let's Play, so you can check those out if you want. The quality isn't as good in my Let's Play performance. It's a little cringy, I presented myself a little bit different back then, but they're there that I'd probably get more in depth in each level as I play them. Let me know like what your favorite level is, your favorite Spyro game, your favorite song from whatever level. Go ahead and type that in the comments, and if you do, I will bang your mom. So that's probably where I will end it here. I'm definitely going to keep this series going. I have plenty of games to talk about. I also have a sort of a top 3 video I'm kind of planning out. I need to beat Final Fantasy 13 beforehand, so I'll make that at some point. So look forward to that. And yeah, I'll go ahead and end it here. So until the next video, guys, I'll see you. Yeah.